Welcome students, we are given a beautiful exponential question here. On the left hand side we got a term 1 positive 1 over x, and that is raised to the power of x positive 1, and it is then equated to expected to find an integer x. So x is an integer, it's given as an integer. Now to solve this question, as such it is not possible to solve it. So what we are going to do is we are going to do some manipulation. So what I wish to do is I would like to take y to be equal to x positive 1, then I will rewrite 1 to be as 1 positive. My x is going to be, I need to push this 1 to that side, so that would mean I would have a y negative 1 in the denominator, and the numerator it is 1. I've already taken x positive 1 to be equal to y, so I place y there. So this is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. Now I'm going to make one more substitution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say let z be equal to negative y. So this would mean y is equal to negative z. So you might be wondering, why am I making so much substitutions? Sometime we will have to use the technique of manipulation so that we can reach the solution. So that is the reason for that. So let me go to the next page. So what I've got here 1 positive 1 over y negative 1 raised to the power of y on the left side. This is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. So this is what I've got. Now as I mentioned to you, I've taken z is equal to negative y, therefore y is equal to negative z. So if I were to make the substitution, this is going to be 1 positive 1 over, so in place of y it's going to be negative z followed by negative 1, and this is raised to the power of negative z, which is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. So we got a beautiful system here. So now what I wish to do is I would like to simplify this. So this is going to be negative z negative 1 positive 1 divided by negative z negative 1 raised to the power of negative z is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. Now negative 1 positive 1 goes away, giving me negative z divided by negative z negative 1, this is raised to the power of negative z, is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. This is what I've got. Now clearly I can take a negative sign out, so this is going to be z positive 1, and this is raised to the power of negative z, which is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. Now clearly the negative sign can be cancelled, giving me z over z positive 1 raised to the power of negative z is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003, right? Now this is negative z, so if I want to change it to positive, this would be flipped. So this would be z positive 1 divided by z raised to the power of z is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. So what I wish to do is I would like to use the space over here to bring out the solution. Now I've got z positive 1 over z. Let me place that. Z positive 1 over z raised to the power of z is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. Now this is a very important part. Now this can be rewritten as z divided by z positive 1 over z raised to the power of z is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. Now z and z can be cancelled, giving me 1 positive 1 over z raised to the power of z is equal to 1 positive 1 over 2003 raised to the power of 2003. Now clearly you can see left hand side is equal to right hand side, and equating, we can see that z is equal to 2003, but my z is equal to negative y. So if I substitute here, I get negative y is equal to 2003. Therefore, y is equal to negative 2003. But what did we choose? We choose y to be equal to x positive 1. Right? This is what we have chosen. Taking the value of y and substituting it here, so this would mean I get negative 2003 is equal to x positive 1. If you were to take this 1 to other side, I'm going to get negative 2003 negative 1 is equal to x. So this would mean I get x to be equal to negative 2004. So this is the solution. Now the question is this the only solution? Yes, this is the only solution for this question. Now I'll give you the justification why. Z is equal to 2003 will be the only point for which the left hand side is equal to right hand side. Why do I say that? For the very fact that this is strictly increasing. Now why is it strictly increasing? Clearly we know that for z cannot be equal to 0 here. Z cannot be equal to negative 1, because if z is equal to 0, this becomes undefined, and z is equal to negative 1, again we have a contradiction. Now z cannot go below negative 1, because if z goes below negative 1, this would mean that x will become positive. Now if x becomes positive, then this will contradict the original question. So hence the conclusion is x is equal to negative 2004 is the only possible value for x for which the left hand side will be equal to right hand side, and that is the value of the integer that the question wants us to find. Thank you, students.